Hi everyone, my name is Alex. I'm a senior at Cal State Fullerton, and I'm a member of the EAGR lab run by Dr. Sharistani. I've got a question for you. Have any of you guys ever opened up the fridge and found a piece of fruit that was rotten and kind of brown and smelly? Well, if you have, then you have an idea of what happens to food as it begins to age. It can rot, decay, or even mold. I'm going to be showing you guys a really quick experiment that you can try at home to test how different conditions affect how quickly or slowly your food will decay. In this case, we're going to be using an apple. I'm going to go ahead and transfer this over to Futrox. Take it away. So what you're going to need is just 5 mason jars that's going to be able to fit a quarter-sized apple like this. You're going to need an apple cut into 4 pieces. Now, I already have the apples cut out, but if you're going to be using a knife, make sure that you have an adult with you because knives are sharp and they can be dangerous. So make sure that you do this part of the experiment, especially with a parent. Over here, we have some distilled white vinegar. You have some salt water. We have some lemon juice. And lastly, we're going to have just regular old water. And then this last jar here is going to be a control jar that's going to have nothing in it. What you're going to want to do is just open up these jars. And in the first jar, you're going to put one of the apple slices inside. And then you're going to fill it until it's completely submerged with the white vinegar. That's good. In the next jar, you're going to put another one of the apple slices. And you're going to pour in the salt water. Just like that. In another jar, another apple slice and the lemon juice. Finally, in the last jar, you're going to put in an apple with some water. The last jar is going to have just an apple slice. Then after you've filled up all these jars, you're going to want to close them all up. And you're going to leave them in a cool, dark area for a week. And then you're going to come back and check on them. But what I suggest that you guys do is you come back every day and see how it's progressing. But at the end of the week, you're going to take them out of the jar and see how they did. Okay, while you guys are looking at the results from each day, I'm going to talk about experimental design. In science, it is important to have a control group so that you can compare the results of your experimental groups, or the groups that are getting the treatment. When you are pouring the liquids in, you are adding independent variables. These are variables in the experiment that you can control. Some examples would be like the temperature, the liquids that are placed in the jar, or the environments that the jars are kept in. Ideally, between each experimental group, there should only be a difference in one independent variable. In this case, it's the liquids. The dependent variable we are looking for is the amount of decay. The reason it is dependent is because it is dependent of the conditions that you are placing in the jars. Well guys, here we are on day 7. We have all the apples placed in front of us. We have the control, the water, vinegar, salt water, and lemon juice. So there's a lot of different variables at play here that are influencing how these apples are actually changing. For the water and control, it's very possible that there could be microbial growth on these apples. Generally in science, you want to be able to measure your results as accurately as possible. In the case of this experiment, we don't have any special tools, so the results are going to be subjective to every person. So here it could be due to microbial growth. There's nothing that's going to be limiting them. And then you can see that there's kind of some spots showing up on this apple. This apple looks a little rotten and brown that was in the water. But when we get to the vinegar, you can see that the apple looks different, but it's most likely not due to microbial growth. This is because vinegar has a very low pH level, or it's acidic, and that's going to prevent some of the microbes from growing on this apple. However, this low pH is also going to interact with a lot of the enzymes in the apple that's going to change its physical characteristics and change how those enzymes work in the apple. Here with salt water, we can see it looks like it's in pretty good shape, and that's because salt water is a natural preservative. It works by dehydrating the apple through a process called osmosis, or water that's traveling from high concentration in the apple to low concentration that was in the jar that we were using. Here on the lemon juice, it also has low pH levels, much like the vinegar, but you can see that there's some mold growing and that it does look a little bit different. That's because although it has low pH levels, there's also a lot of sugars in the lemon juice that can foster microbial growth or cause different reactions to happen in the apple. Alright, that's the result from this experiment, guys. I hope you had fun. I hope you got to see some cool things. If you want some more fun experiments, go ahead and check out the webpage, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!